All right, welcome to Module 3. So you've spent all this time and effort training a brilliant AI model. That's fantastic. But now what? How do you actually get it out of the lab and into the real world where it can do some good? Well, that's exactly what we're talking about today. This is the final critical step, inference management and serving.
Okay, before we really get going, just a quick heads up. This is Module 3 of a 10-part tutorial on open source tools for AI data centers. Everything we're covering is an overview based on a big report from Virtualization Options LLC, so think of it as general guidance. It's not legal or financial advice, and it comes with no warranty. So please, definitely chat with your own financial, technical, and legal pros before making any big moves. And just so you know, these modules are just scratching the surface of what's in the full report.
So what's on the docket today? First, we're going to tackle what's known as the last mile problem. Then we'll look at servers built for specific frameworks, followed by the big guns, the universal servers that can handle pretty much anything. After that, we'll see how this all fits into the cloud-native world, and we'll wrap up by helping you figure out which tool is the right one for you. Sound good? Let's go.
Okay, first up, the last mile problem. You know, you can have the fastest, most powerful race car in the world, but if it's stuck in the garage, it's not winning any races, right? It's the same with AI models. A perfectly trained model is, well, frankly, pretty useless if it's just sitting on a hard drive. The real challenge, that last mile, is getting it out onto the track, deploying it so your apps can actually use it to make smart predictions and deliver real value.
And that brings us right to our main event, inference management and serving. So what is it? It's basically the whole operational side of things. It's about taking that model, putting it into production, hooking it up with an API so it can take requests, and then making sure it can handle the load, scale up or down, and even manage different versions. Think of it as the bridge that connects the brilliant work of data scientists to the applications that we all use every day.
Now you might be thinking, okay, sounds pretty straightforward. Just put the model on a server. Well, if only it were that simple. The reality is way more complicated. So what is it that makes serving these models such a tough nut to crack?
Well, the complexity really boils down to a few things. First, you've got latency. Unlike training a model, which can take hours or even days, inference often needs to happen in the blink of an eye. We're talking milliseconds. Then there's throughput. You've got to be able to handle maybe thousands of requests at the same time without breaking a sweat. And all this has to be done while maximizing your hardware utilization, because let's be real, GPUs are expensive and you want to get every penny's worth out of them. But wait, there's more. You also have to deal with things like A/B testing new model versions, cleverly batching requests together to be more efficient, and, of course, making sure the entire system stays stable and doesn't just crash when everyone decides to use your app at once. It's a lot.
So really, you're not just serving one little model. It's more like you're running an entire factory of prediction pipelines, all at the same time. And good inference management, well, that's the secret sauce. It's what takes all that potential chaos and turns it into a finely tuned, efficient service that actually delivers on its promise.
So, how do we actually handle all this complexity? Let's start by looking at our first group of tools, the framework-specific servers. These are the ones that are built to be masters of one specific ML ecosystem.
First up, if your team lives and breathes PyTorch, then TorchServe is your go-to. It was co-developed by AWS and Meta, so you know it's built for serious, enterprise-level work, and it's tailored specifically for PyTorch models.
One of the coolest things about TorchServe is how it uses these things called model archive files, or .mar files. Think of it like a zip file for your model. It bundles up the model itself, all the code to handle it, and any other dependencies into one single package. Why is that great? It makes your deployment totally reproducible every single time. Plus, it speaks both REST and gRPC, so you've got options for how your apps talk to it.
Now, for the other side of the coin, if you're in the TensorFlow camp, then you've got TensorFlow Serving. This is the official, heavy-duty serving system straight from the TensorFlow team, and it's built to be fast, flexible, and ready for the most demanding production workloads.
What's really smart about TensorFlow Serving is its architecture. It neatly separates the job of managing the model's lifecycle, loading up a new version or rolling back to an old one, from the part that's actually serving the predictions. This separation is a game changer because it's what lets you do super important stuff like updating a model without any downtime. That's huge for production. Okay, so those framework-specific servers are awesome if you only use one framework. But what if your team is a little more eclectic? What if you're using PyTorch for one thing, TensorFlow for another, and maybe some Onyx models too? Well, that's where the universal servers come into play.
And when we talk about universal servers, the big name you need to know is NVIDIA's Triton Inference Server.
The best way to think about it is like a universal translator for your models. It doesn't care if your model was built in PyTorch, TensorFlow, or something else. It can take it and serve it up through one consistent API.
But Triton isn't just about being a jack of all trades. Its #1 focus is raw performance. I mean, this thing is a beast. It's packed with super advanced features like dynamic batching, and it's tightly integrated with NVIDIA's TensorRT. All of that is designed to do one thing: squeeze every last drop of performance out of your hardware. It is an absolute powerhouse. And it makes sense, right? Coming from NVIDIA, Triton was literally built from the ground up to scream on accelerator hardware, especially GPUs. So if you're working on something where every single millisecond counts, something really high stakes, Triton is probably where you want to look.
So far, we've been talking about tools that are kind of like dedicated servers. But let's be honest, so much of the tech world is moving to the cloud and embracing cloud-native ways of doing things. So the big question is, how does model serving fit into this new world of Kubernetes, containers, and serverless?
And that question leads us directly to our next tool, Kserve. As you might guess from the name, the K is for Kubernetes. Kserve is built for Kubernetes. It's a Kubernetes native solution that brings the magic of serverless to your models. What does that mean for you? It means it handles all the scaling automatically. And the really cool part is that it can even scale a model's resources all the way down to 0 when nobody's using it. Think about the cost savings there.
Getting a model up and running with Kserve is actually pretty slick and straightforward. You just put your model in cloud storage, describe how you want it to run in a simple YAML file, and that's pretty much it. Kserve takes over and automatically builds all the Kubernetes stuff you need. But the real secret weapon is how it handles traffic. It uses another awesome open source project called Knative to do all the heavy lifting: complex routing, auto-scaling, and yes, that amazing scale to 0 feature.
All right, we've looked at 4 really powerful open source tools. Which brings us to the million-dollar question. How on earth do you choose the right one for your project? Let's break it down into a simple guide.
Really, it all comes down to matching the tool to your team's ecosystem and what you're trying to achieve. It's pretty simple, actually. If your team is 100% PyTorch, then TorchServe is a no-brainer. If you're standardized on TensorFlow and its saved model format, then TensorFlow serving is your best bet. If you're juggling a bunch of different frameworks and need absolute top-tier performance, Triton is going to be your champion. And finally, if you're all about that cloud-native life on Kubernetes and you want things like auto-scaling and GitOps workflows, then Kserve was practically made for you.
So getting your model into production, that's a massive win. Congratulations! But the story doesn't end there, because once a model is out in the wild, the world keeps changing. Data drifts, concepts change, and your model's performance can slowly start to degrade. So now that you know how to serve a model, the next critical question is, how do you keep it healthy? We're going to dive deep into that in our very next module on model health monitoring. Hope to see you there.